Master Tais Menti, not to me FFisk, let me ask you something. How many times have you let someone else's opinion, mistake, or energy ruin your entire day? One text, one comment, one rejection, and suddenly your peace is gone. But here's the truth: you can't live a powerful life if every little thing shakes you. The most unstoppable people aren't the ones who have perfect lives. They're the ones who've mastered one thing: nothing gets in their head, and nothing knocks them off center. Every day, life will test you. Someone will disrespect you. A plan will fall apart, a dream will take longer than you thought. And your power, your real strength, is measured by what you do after that moment hits. Most people crumble. They react, spiral, or let the world decide how they feel. But the ones who rise, the ones who create extraordinary lives, are the ones who train their mind to stay grounded no matter what chaos comes their way. Mastering this mindset doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop giving power to things that don't deserve it. It means when someone doubts you, you don't shrink. You focus harder. When life gets messy, you don't lose control. You stay centered. Because peace is not found in perfect conditions, it's built from unshakable focus. Your emotions are powerful, but they're not supposed to drive the car. You are. The moment you start responding instead of reacting, the world starts working for you instead of against you. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the author of outcomes. Every time you choose calm over chaos, discipline over drama, and focus over fear, you're telling the universe, I am in control. And when you own that energy, nothing, no person, no setback, no failure can break you. That's how you become unbothered, untouchable, and unstoppable. You can't stop the storms, but you can become the person who stands calm in the middle of them. Master this mindset and you'll realize nothing and no one has the power to shake you anymore. Your power is never in what happens to you. It's always in how you respond. Life will throw things your way that you didn't plan, didn't expect, and definitely didn't deserve. People will disappoint you, opportunities will fall through, and there will be moments where everything feels out of control. But that's the moment your strength is revealed. Not when everything's easy, but when everything falls apart and you decide not to. The difference between people who keep moving forward and people who get stuck isn't luck, talent, or even timing. It's their response. They've trained themselves not to crumble when life hits hard. Most people waste their energy trying to control what they can't. They replay conversations, overthink decisions, and hold grudges against things they can't change. That mental loop drains your focus and steals your power. The truth is, the world isn't going to stop being unpredictable. People aren't going to suddenly become perfect. The only constant you have is your own reaction, and that's where your power lies. When you learn to control your internal world, the external one loses its ability to shake you. Every time you react impulsively, yelling, shutting down, spiraling, you give away a piece of your power. You let circumstances dictate your emotions, and suddenly you're no longer leading your life, you're being dragged by it. But when you pause before reacting, even for a few seconds, you shift everything. You stop letting your emotions run the show. That pause is where clarity lives. It's where self-control starts. It's the space where you remember who you are and how you want to show up. That pause is the difference between chaos and calm. Your response determines your results. When something goes wrong, you can either ask, why me? Or you can ask, what now? The first question keeps you trapped in blame. The second pulls you into action. Life will always test your patience, your confidence, your resilience, but each test is an invitation to grow. Every setback is an opportunity to strengthen your mindset, to practice staying calm under pressure, to remind yourself that you are bigger than the moment trying to break you. Choosing your response doesn't mean pretending everything's fine. It means refusing to let negativity own you. You acknowledge what happened. You feel what you need to feel, but then you decide what happens next. You move with intention instead of emotion. You show yourself that you can be steady even when everything around you is shaking. That's real strength, not pretending to be unbothered, but mastering your ability to stay grounded in truth, not trapped in reaction. When you stop reacting and start responding, you take your power back. You stop being a passenger in your own life. You realize that no matter what happens, you get to decide who you're going to be in that moment. That's freedom. And it's the mindset that makes you unstoppable. The moment you stop needing other people's approval, you step into a level of freedom most people never experience. From the time we're young, we're conditioned to look outward for validation. From parents, teachers, friends, coworkers, social media, we learn to measure our worth through how others react to us. A compliment makes us feel confident, a criticism makes us crumble. We become addicted to feedback, constantly chasing affirmation that we're good enough, smart enough, lovable enough. But when you build your self-worth on the opinions of others, you hand over control of your happiness. You let someone else's mood, perspective, or insecurity dictate how you feel about yourself. Detaching from external validation doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop letting their approval define your value. You can love deeply, connect fully, and still stay centered in who you are. The truth is, people's opinions are reflections of them, not of you. Their words are filtered through their fears, experiences, and limitations. When someone doubts you, it often has nothing to do with your ability. It's a mirror of their own uncertainty. The more you understand that, the less you personalize other people's reactions. You start to see them as information, not judgment. Every time you catch yourself thinking, what will they think? Stop and ask a better question. What do I think? That single shift changes everything. Because when you start trusting your own judgment, you no longer need to perform for acceptance. You make decisions from alignment, not anxiety. You stop chasing applause and start chasing authenticity. And ironically, that's when you become more magnetic. Because confidence born from self-approval radiates a kind of peace that people can feel. Validation feels good, but dependence on it keeps you small. It makes you afraid to take risks or speak your truth. You'll start editing yourself to fit what others want. But every time you do that, you trade a piece of your authenticity for comfort. Detaching from validation is an act of courage. It's saying, I'd rather be real and misunderstood than fake and accepted. That's what self-trust looks like. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. You know your intentions, your values, and your heart, and that's enough. The world will always have opinions. People will praise you one day and criticize you the next. You can't stop that, but you can choose not to let it shake you. You can stand in the middle of approval and rejection and remain steady, because your validation comes from within. You know who you are when the noise stops. You don't need to prove, explain, or convince anyone. You just show up as yourself, clear, calm, and grounded. That's when nothing outside of you has the power to define or destroy you anymore. Emotional discipline is not about suppressing what you feel, it's about mastering how you handle those emotions when they show up. Everyone feels anger, fear, frustration, sadness. It's part of being human. But what separates the strong from the reactive is the ability to pause and choose a response instead of letting emotion dictate behavior. When you don't train emotional discipline, you become a puppet to every feeling that comes along. You lash out when you're mad, you shut down when you're hurt, you quit when you're scared. Life starts controlling you instead of you controlling it. Training emotional discipline starts with awareness. You have to catch yourself in the moment, that split second when your body reacts before your mind catches up. Your heart races, your stomach tightens, your thoughts speed up. That's the cue. That's the moment to stop, breathe, and create space. Most people blow past that moment. They let their emotions take the wheel and then regret the aftermath. But the pause is where your power is. In that space between feeling and reaction, you get to choose the kind of person you're going to be. Emotional discipline is built like a muscle. You don't master it once, you practice it daily. Every time you breathe before responding, every time you choose patience over anger, every time you stay calm when it would be easier to explode, you're strengthening that muscle. It doesn't mean you stop feeling deeply. It means you're no longer controlled by your emotions. You can experience pain and still move forward. You can feel doubt and still take action. You can be disappointed and still stay focused. That's power. This mindset doesn't come naturally. It's a skill you train by being intentional. You might feel triggered by a comment, an argument, a setback, but you can learn to regulate your emotions instead of reacting impulsively. Ask yourself, what does this reaction cost me? Anger might feel satisfying in the moment, but it often burns bridges and kills progress. Impulsive decisions might feel relieving at first, but they usually create long-term problems. Emotional discipline helps you think beyond the moment. It makes you strategic instead of reactive. The key is to lead your emotions instead of letting them lead you. When you can stay grounded in moments of stress, you start to earn your own respect. You begin to trust yourself more because you know you won't sabotage opportunities or relationships out of temporary feelings. The world respects emotional control. People gravitate toward those who stay steady when others fall apart. It communicates confidence, strength, and wisdom. When you master emotional discipline, chaos loses its power over you. You stop being a slave to moods, triggers, and other people's behavior. You start responding with intention, clarity, and grace. That's when life starts to feel lighter. Not because it gets easier, but because you've become stronger. Your energy is your most valuable resource, and how you protect it determines the quality of your life. Too often, people give their energy away without even realizing it. To negativity, gossip, drama, overthinking, or trying to fix situations that don't serve them. Every time you engage in pointless conflict or let someone drain you emotionally, you're spending energy that could have been used to build your peace, your goals, your growth. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's self-respect. It's recognizing that not everyone deserves access to your mind, your time, or your emotional space. Think of your energy like a battery. Every thought, every conversation, every reaction either charges it or drains it. If you constantly give without recharging, you'll burn out. If you let toxic people or situations plug into you, they'll take what they need and leave you empty. Protecting your energy means becoming intentional about who and what you allow to influence your state of mind. It's learning to say no without guilt, setting boundaries without apology, and walking away without explanation when something disturbs your peace. There's a difference between caring and carrying. You can care about someone without carrying their chaos. You can be compassionate without being consumed. Most people who struggle with protecting their energy confuse empathy with obligation. They think being kind means being available all the time. But true kindness includes kindness to yourself. When you prioritize your mental space, you show others how to treat you. You set the standard for how energy is exchanged in your life. Protecting your energy also means guarding your focus. You can't build the life you want if you're constantly distracted by noise. That's why you have to be ruthless about what you consume. The media you watch, the people you follow, the conversations you entertain. Everything you absorb shapes your emotional state. If you feed your mind negativity, you'll live in anxiety. If you surround yourself with people who complain, you'll start to see problems instead of opportunities. Protecting your energy is about creating an environment that supports your peace and your purpose. You'll notice that the more you protect your energy, the quieter your life becomes. You won't feel the need to explain, argue, or prove. You won't chase people who don't value you. You'll stop tolerating anything that disturbs your calm. That silence isn't emptiness, it's power. It's the space where you can think clearly, create freely, and act intentionally. And from that space, everything in your life starts to align. The people who thrive aren't the ones with the least challenges, they're the ones who manage their energy wisely. They know what drains them and what fuels them, and they make choices that honor their peace. When you start protecting your energy like it's sacred, life stops feeling chaotic and starts feeling intentional. You move with clarity, you attract better, and you become untouchable. Every trigger is an invitation to grow, not a reason to break down. When something or someone sets you off, it's easy to react, to get defensive, angry, or shut down. But if you pause long enough to look beneath the surface, you'll realize that every emotional trigger is revealing something about you, not them. It's showing you where you're still carrying pain, fear, or insecurity. Most people run from their triggers because they don't want to feel discomfort, but avoiding them means staying stuck in the same emotional loops. The real growth happens when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" Every challenge you face is a form of training for your mindset. Life isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. Every disappointment strengthens your patience, every rejection sharpens your resilience, every delay builds your faith. You can't develop inner strength and comfort, you develop it in the middle of tension. When you start seeing your triggers as opportunities, instead of attacks, you take your power back. You stop being the victim of your emotions and start being the student of them. Think about it. When someone criticizes you and you feel defensive, that's a mirror showing you where your confidence still depends on others' approval. When a situation doesn't go your way and you spiral, it's teaching you to release control and build trust. When you feel jealous, it's showing you where you're doubting your own potential. Triggers are teachers in disguise, and once you learn to listen instead of react, your entire emotional landscape changes. You begin to see life as feedback instead of failure. This mindset doesn't happen overnight. It takes awareness and humility to admit that your reactions say more about your inner world than the outer one. But once you commit to using every trigger as training, you grow faster than most people ever will. You start responding with curiosity instead of anger. You become more grounded, more self-aware, and more emotionally intelligent. The very things that used to drain you start strengthening you. The same situations that once broke you now become proof of how far you've come. The truth is, life is going to keep testing you until you learn the lesson it's trying to teach. You can either resist and repeat, or reflect and rise. Every person who annoys you, every situation that frustrates you, every moment that challenges your patience is a workout for your mindset. The more you train, the stronger you become. Eventually, the things that once triggered you lose their power. You outgrow them. And that's the ultimate sign of progress. Not that life stops testing you, but that you no longer lose your peace when it does. When you turn every trigger into training, nothing can shake you because everything strengthens you.